How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Dan Herr here for geometry. Woot woot. Let's get this party started, right? So geometry tends to be a big divide in the way students have thought about mathematics up until this point. In middle school, we start talking about pre-algebra. In high school, a lot of times we're all in when it comes to algebra, where geometry is a little bit more of a shift. It's a little bit more of spatial awareness and how we can incorporate that with the laws and the facts of geometry that we know and discover along the way, right? So we talk about a lot of terminology. That part, unfortunately, is a must. So there's a few more terms, a few more definitions than maybe in some classes in the past. Not that I have a ton of wide open, what does this term mean sort of question throughout the course, but we want to make sure that it's a usable vocabulary and a usable terminology, right? So we understand what's being asked of us and how that applies. We talk a ton about lines, parallel lines, perpendicular lines, the sort of corollaries of lines and how we can apply that to solve for different angles. Speaking of angles, we'll talk about corresponding angles, vertical angles, adjacent angles, same side interior, same side exterior, you get the ideas. Then we move on to polygons, specifically any enclosed figure that's made up of entirely straight sides that intersect at their endpoints. So whether it's triangles all the way up to dodecagons and nonagons, all those good things, and how they incorporate with their angles and other lines and different space around it. I personally really enjoy geometry because it is so applicable. In my free time, I like working with my hands. I like building. I like a little bit of carpentry, although I'm no expert in any way, shape, or form. But the geometric side of things can help with all of that. It's really unique that way, right? Since I started to say a little bit about myself, one more thing about myself, I have a lovely family. Yes, I'm aware my wife's way too pretty for me, and I also have 3 daughters, an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 3rd grader, which is why, you see those white hairs? Yeah, they keep going more every day. What are you gonna do, right? So, hey, I'm looking forward to a great semester. My name's Dan Herr, Dan_Herr at Hempfield SD if you need to get a hold of me. See you soon.